Welcome to day 4 of our Advent Devotional series. Today's reading is John 1, verses 4 and 5. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it.
Well, there's something about the dawn, isn't there? Something about the light breaking over the hillside, the rays of sunshine, bringing life. Perhaps hours before, it had appeared that the darkness had won, that it was going to be dark forever. There was never going to be light again. But then dawn comes and light appears. And that's the message of the book of John. And that's the message of the person of Jesus. That it's not darkness that wins, but light that wins. It's not despair that wins, it's hope that wins. And you've just read verses 4 and 5 of John chapter 1. The first part says, in him was life. In Jesus was life. Not just because it's through him that everything was made, but because in him is life itself. Jesus would stand at a funeral and say, I am the resurrection and the life. On the night before Jesus died, he would say to his disciples, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. There are many people in our little town of Caterham who would say that life in all its fullness, from their experience, is found in the person of Jesus. He would say in John 10, verse 10, I've come that they may have life and have it in all abundance and have it in all fullness. That's why Jesus has come. In him was life. In him is life. I think we want to turn to each other and say, do we know life in Jesus? But verse 4 of John chapter 1 doesn't stop there with the theme of life, but it says then that, and that life was the light of mankind. You know, the hope and the glory and the brightness, well, it's all found in the person of Jesus. Jesus would say in another place in John chapter 8 verse 12, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. And then verse 5. Verse 5 is glorious. There's been lots of new stories, lots of new films coming out recently, and they end in a kind of brokenness and despair. You're hoping for the uptick, for it all to come together, for it all to make sense, and the film just arcs down and then kind of breaks into little pieces, and you're left wondering, well, was that it? And many people say, well, that's so realistic, because that's what life is like. But the Bible says, no. That isn't what life is like. It's not what life should be. And because of Jesus, it's not what life is. And verse 5, it says this, it's full of hope and it changes everything. The light shines in the darkness, but the darkness has not overcome it. Light wins. Jesus wins. You might say, well, how does that happen? Well, it happens because Jesus went not just to a stable and a manger, but he went on to die on a cross. He died on a cross, taking all the wrongness and all the brokenness, all the despair, everything that sets us at a distance from God. He took it on himself as he died. He was put into a tomb, and that was the darkest of nights. As his followers were broken themselves, they couldn't understand that this would be the destiny of this glorious one, Jesus. But then on the third morning, there is a dawn, and it's the most glorious dawn, as Jesus comes alive from that tomb. And the message of Jesus that resonates throughout the book of John and that resonates through the whole of the New Testament, through the whole of the Bible itself, is that if a person like you or me would put our trust in Jesus, that he died instead of us to take our wrongness, if we recognize that he is the one who's the light of the world, well then our lives will be flooded with the light and life of relationship with him. And that's what he invites us to this Christmas time, to put our trust in him, to realize who he really is, and to experience life and light in all its fullness.